Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 396 based on novel. So let's start. The Cloud Mountain was like a veil of mist that surrounded the flashing sealed realm formation and pressed down on Wang Lin. Thunderous roars echoed and Wang Lin's face became even more pale, but his expression didn't change. He stared at the Cloud Mountain while leaning against the formation, remaining motionless. I have seen the power of the divine retribution many times and have survived through them all. Today's divine retribution is strange, but it still can't destroy me. My Tao heart can't be destroyed, so my mind can't die. My body is as stable as Mount Tai, and not even the heavens can prevent me from completing my Tao. Wang Lin's voice was calm and slow. His hands formed a seal and the blood sword circled him, releasing screeches as it did so. The blood light enveloped Wang Lin. The Cloud Mountain roared as it pressed down, and Wang Lin waved his hand. An ancient god shadow appeared around him, and at the same time, his right hand formed a fist and punched the mountain. His left hand pressed down on the sealed realm formation. The ancient god shadow moved with him. His right hand threw a punch at the descending Cloud Mountain. The pressure from the Cloud Mountain descended and collided with the ancient god power. An earth-shattering rumble echoed as a destructive power erupted into the ancient god shadow. Then it was transferred to the ancient god's left hand and into the sealed realm formation. Thunderous rumbles continued to echo, and the sealed realm formation flickered violently. Bright, seven-colored light shined and immediately lit up the entire void, the entire sealed realm formation. The giant formation suddenly activated when the seven-colored light shined. Its activation would stop anyone in the inner realm from taking half a step outside. The seven-colored light even penetrated the Cloud Mountain as if it was useless before it. Powerful pressure suddenly came from the shining seven-colored formation. The thunderous rumbles echoed across the void. Because the attack on the formation had reached the requirements to summon the formation spirit, there was a violent flash and a ray of light condensed from the formation. This light was silvery white, as if it was lightning, and it instantly turned into a lance. This lance was covered in endless lightning and it shot toward the Cloud Mountain. Thunder entangled the lance and popping sounds echoed. The lance contained shocking force and was like a bolt of lightning that pierced through the Cloud Mountain. The Cloud Mountain trembled and collapsed. The cloud was pushed back, revealing the four rotating swords. Wang Lin's body also felt very uncomfortable. After transferring the attack into the formation, he had suffered injuries. He coughed out a mouthful of blood, but his eyes were still firm. He coldly watched the formation and divine retribution attack each other. Whether it was the sealed realm formation or the divine retribution, both were things Wang Lin didn't like. He still remembered what he saw inside the seven-colored realm. Throughout the ages, the sealed realm formation had been contaminated with the blood of too many sealed realm cultivators. Even now, Wang Lin could still hear their unwilling roars. I refuse to let this be. I refuse to let this be. There will be a day when a future generation of cultivators will break this formation and cause all you outsiders to become extinct. Rivers of blood will flow in your outer realm. The first time he heard this voice, it ignited Wang Lin's blood and aroused his bloodlust. After all, he was born in the sealed realm, and the sealed realm was his home. The Cloud Mountain collapsed and the rotation of the four swords was stopped by the white lance. Due to the large amounts of clouds being pushed away, the white jade pavilion that was constantly squeezing out of the gap to another world was exposed. There was a flash of gentle light coming from between the eyebrows of the statue on the white jade pavilion, and it soon enveloped its entire body. Its whole body seemed to melt, and its right hand suddenly changed from stone to flesh and blood. Its right hand moved. The statue raised its right and gently pressed down on the crack leading to the void where the realm ceiling formation was. 9 palaces. Infinite, as a vague voice echoed, the statue's right hand pressed down. The four swords inside the void immediately flew back along with the collapsed clouds. These clouds surrounded the statue, forming a giant vortex. The four swords rotated within, causing the vortex to grow larger. As the vague voice echoed, the gap the white jade pavilion was in was suddenly ripped open and revealed the world within. Inside the gap, there were 9 identical planets, forming a formation that gave off the might of the ancient celestial realm. Heaven Palace, Water Palace, Mountain Palace, Thunder Palace, Center Palace, Fire Palace, Wind Palace, Earth Palace, Swamp Palace. Different golden runes appeared on each planet, giving off an unimaginable aura. The moment the 9 planets appeared, they rumbled and rushed out of the gap. They shrank, becoming smaller and smaller, until they charged out into the void. They penetrated the crack and entered the void where the sealed realm formation was. They rotated as they descended down on Wang Lin. Celestial sealing 9 palaces. At the same time, 9 white dots appeared on Wang Lin's body. These 9 dots were the 9 major blood flow intersections. When the 9 dots linked together, they connected his whole body. When the 9 palaces arrived, the 9 points gave off unbearable pain. It was as if 9 nails had pierced his body. It was enough to make him go crazy. Wang Lin's body trembled and he let out a roar as he stared at the 9 palaces. The pain became even more intense. However, this pain just ignited his indomitable will. He had been a heaven-defying cultivator all his life. The heavens couldn't make him bend and fate couldn't make him obey, let alone this divine retribution. From the moment he chose to become a heaven-defying cultivator, he was doomed to fight the heavens and struggle against fate. At this moment, popping sounds came from Wang Lin's body, and his body swelled up. A 6-star ancient god appeared outside the sealed realm formation. His almost 10,000-foot-tall body made Wang Lin look like a giant from ancient times. He hid Li Qianmai and clenched his fist as he walked toward the 9 palaces. Rumble, 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 rumble. The moment he charged out, 4 of his blood points collapsed and blood flowed out. A destructive aura filled his body. The moment his 4 blood points collapsed, 4 of the palaces turned into white light. They moved at an indescribable speed, penetrating the void and landing on Wang Lin's collapsed blood points. Wang Lin's body trembled and thunderous rumbles echoed inside his body like crazy. The remaining 5 blood points all collapsed. Similarly, the 5 planets shined. The moment they disappeared, they charged into Wang Lin's collapsed 5 blood points. The palaces moved within Wang Lin's body, causing endless destruction, and gathered toward the last palace in his chest. Once they condensed, the 9-palace seal would be complete. The planets formed by the 9 palaces were not real cultivation planets, and they had no living things on them. They were 9 giant meteorites that had been refined over countless years, and they had become part of the divine retribution. The intense pain inside Wang Lin's body almost made his origin soul collapse. His roars became even more intense as the ancient god stars between his eyebrows rotated rapidly. His expression became even more ferocious. 9 rocks conceal a celestial, but I'm not a celestial. I'm an ancient god. Wang Lin roared as his body trembled and his ancient god power erupted from his body. Thunderous rumbles echoed and the 9 blood points on his body moved. The meteorites inside him unexpectedly stopped in their tracks and they weren't able to gather at the last palace. However, the divine retribution wasn't over yet. The purple lightning, 4 colored swords, the parameter summon, the cloud mountain, and all of this were just the beginning of the divine retribution. The infinite divine retribution went on until you died. After the 9 palaces came the 8 diagrams. 8 diagrams. Infinite. In the world the white jade pavilion was in, the right hand of the statue waved and 8 giant runes appeared. These runes were the imprint of the 8 diagrams. Heaven, water, mountain, thunder, fire, wind, earth, swamp. The 8 diagrams rotated, forming its own world. The moment the 8 diagrams appeared, heaven, water, mountain, thunder, fire, wind, earth, swamp all appeared. They formed a giant wheel. As the wheel rotated, it went through the gap, rushed into the spatial crack, and entered the void. It carried a powerful pressure as it descended on Wang Lin. Wang Lin's face was pale as his origin energy had to constantly keep the flowing time spell active on Li Qianmai. His ancient god power had to constantly force out the 9 palaces. At this moment, when he had to face the 8 diagrams that was much stronger than the 9 palaces, his pupils couldn't help but shrink. In particular, the giant wheel they formed would change every time it rotated, making it impossible to tell its trajectory. It was incredibly fast, and it instantly pressed down on Wang Lin. At this moment of life and death, Wang Lin calmed down. He took a few steps back and leaned against the Sealed Realm formation. Lord of the Sealed Realm, I have brought you to the Sealed Realm formation. You can come out. When Wang Lin's soul entered the heaven-defying bead and he saw the Lord of the Sealed Realm before he was sent into the Tao Realm, the Lord of the Sealed Realm said that the Sealed Realm formation was his final resting place. It was because of this that Wang Lin had some confidence in breaking the Sealed Realm formation. This was his other method, aside from borrowing the power of the divine retribution. The moment his divine sense spread out, the heaven-defying bead that had disappeared inside his origin soul suddenly appeared. The moment it appeared, a jade flew out from within and flew out of Wang Lin's body. The moment this jade appeared, the heavens trembled and shook. Even the 8 diagrams divine retribution shook. Inside the demon sect formation, the High Elder had his divine sense spread out. While he observed the divine retribution, he was also paying attention to Wang Lin, who was going through the divine retribution. When he saw the jade, the middle-aged man trembled for a moment. His eyes suddenly widened and revealed unbelievable shock. Sect Master's Jade. He actually has Sect Master's Jade. Could he be the inheritor designated by the Sect Master? The middle-aged man had cultivated for countless years and was rarely moved. However, right now he was in shock and his face was red from excitement. He didn't hesitate to step forward and break through the formation into the starry sky. Then he took another step, entered the spatial crack, and arrived in the void next to Sealed Realm formation. The moment he arrived, the light from the jade spread across the void and a giant tree that could support the world appeared. The appearance of the giant tree caused the void to tremble. The 8 diagram was shrouded by a mysterious force and stopped all movement. The giant tree was so large that it filled the void. An old face gradually appeared on it. Sect Master. The High Elder from the demon sect looked excitedly at the giant tree. His eyes were filled with extreme reverence. The moment the giant tree appeared, a huge uproar was set off in the rank 9 region. In the god sect, Daoist water originally had a hideous expression and was roaring constantly. However, at this moment, his body trembled and his face filled with fear. Master. There was also that 9-star ancient devil that was secretly devouring the power of the divine retribution, but at this instant his expression changed. He looked into the distance and his expression became filled with uncertainty. Lord of the Sealed Realm. Among the stars, the heaven-breaking sect master was walking over, but at this moment, he stopped. His expression became serious as he looked ahead and began to ponder. In the void, the face that appeared on the tree revealed an ancient aura. He looked longingly at his surroundings before finally looking at the Sealed Realm formation. After a long time, he released a sigh and let out an ancient and exhausted voice. Mysterious brilliant. The demon sect's High Elder trembled and seemed to return back to the past. Subordinate is here, he replied without hesitation. Use my Tao treasure to organize the Cloud Sea and gather all its strength to be ready for the war with the outer realm that will occur soon. Kill any who rebel. The demon sect's High Elder's body trembled and he looked up. There was a flash of coldness in his eyes as he shouted, "As you command. Under my order, after settling the Cloud Sea, go to the other 3 major star systems. Go find Master South Cloud, Master Red Shan, and Master War Celestial. Tell them that they can fulfill the agreement of the past. I want you to use your fastest speed to organize the 3 other major star systems. Unite the wind, rain, thunder, and lightning celestial realms into one to fight the great war that will start soon. As you command." The demon sect High Elder looked excited. The ancient face on the giant tree looked into the distance, and after a long time, he whispered, "Tao slave, if you can help the demon sect on this matter, this old man won't kill you." Inside the god sect's secret chamber, Daoist water trembled, and his forehead was covered in sweat. He knelt down and kowtowed on the ground. "Devil Master, you fled from the outer realm and I gave you the entire ghost sect as your disciple to help you heal. Now you have recovered and have become a 9-star ancient devil. It is time to fulfill our agreement. The eyes of the ancient devil shadow outside the ghost sect lit up, and after pondering for a bit, he nodded. He looked through the void at the outer realm, and a glint cold and hatred flashed in his eyes. After that, the human face on the giant Gree looked profoundly at Wang Lin and softly said, "Divine retribution is a calamity but also a fortune. Because of the rule of the ancient celestial realm, I can't tell you more. Take care of yourself. The divine retribution is not something from the ancient celestial realm. Even the celestial emperor has his divine retribution. Divine retribution comes from primal times, from when the world began, from the dead heavenly Tao. The divine retribution you face is only a small retribution, not a great one, nor the G retribution that can destroy all life." As he spoke, his eyes slowly collapsed and the giant tree collapsed, dissipating into the void. The jade turned into a crystal light and fell on the sealed realm formation. The sealed realm formation shined brightly and trembled. The treasured spirits appeared one by one as if resisting this light. However, the power within the jade was extremely strange. It slowly turned into countless green threads that spread across the giant formation before it gradually disappeared. The moment the green threads disappeared, the 8 diagrams that were frozen in the air roared and moved toward Wang Lin once more. Divine retribution is a calamity but also a fortune. Heaven's G divine retribution. G retribution. G realm. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he stared at the 8 diagrams. His eyes became even brighter. He seemed to have grasped something, but he wasn't sure. With your current cultivation level, don't bother comprehending the G realm. When you reach Nirvana Shatra, maybe, you can comprehend it from the divine retribution. Qing Shui's words echoed in his ears. The 8 diagram wheel closed in on Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression rapidly changed, and the moment the wheel closed in, Wang Lin's eyes revealed madness. He made a decision. "I'm giving it my all." Wang Lin gave up resisting as it closed in, and with a roar, it imprinted on Wang Lin. It immediately collapsed and turned into 8 runes that penetrated Wang Lin's skin and entered his veins. The 8 diagrams contained the heavens and earth, so they formed their own world. The moment they imprinted in Wang Lin's body, they turned into a powerful force that almost made Wang Lin's body collapse. He coughed out blood, and the 8 diagrams resonated with the 9 palaces to form an unimaginable seal. They began destroying Wang Lin's body like crazy from the inside. Fortunately, as an ancient god, his recovery speed was shocking. Under the attack of the 9 palaces and 8 diagrams, Wang Lin let out a ferocious roar. The veins in his body swelled up and he rapidly recovered. However, the 8 diagrams were extremely strange. They suddenly multiplied to 64 diagrams and continued to change. They then turned into 128 diagrams and then again until it was endless. Popping sounds echoed inside Wang Lin's body, and his 10,000-foot body was covered in diagrams. Blood sprayed out from every part of his body. Wang Lin had a ferocious expression as he looked up at the void into the vortex and roared, "A mere 9 places and 8 diagrams won't kill me. Is there a more powerful divine retribution?" As he roared, the vortex roared and 7 rays of light came out from within. The 7 lights were starlight. The starlight was bright, and the moment they rushed out of the vortex, they turned into 7 cultivation planets. They were real cultivation planets, unlike the 9 palaces, which were just meteorites. The 7 cultivation planets shined brightly, forming the Big Dipper. After the 9 palaces were the 8 diagrams, and after the 8 diagrams was the 7-star Big Dipper. The 7 stars, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, and Zeta. 7 stars. Infinite. The moment the vague voice came out, the 7 stars shined like crazy and penetrated the void. Their light penetrated the starry sky and the entire cloud sea, replacing all other starlight. It was as if all the starlight in the world had been absorbed by these 7 stars and formed a heaven-shaking killing intent. This was the 7-star killing intent, the Big Dipper slaughter might. The 7 stars were killing intent and the Big Dipper was slaughter. This was not a seal, it carried the intent to kill. As it approached, the 7 stars formed 7 trails as they shot at Wang Lin. They were like 7 slaughter swords charging at Wang Lin. At this moment, the vague voice echoed once more. 6 directions. Infinite. 8 desolate 6 direction. Together, this represented how desolate the universe was. There was no escaping from the 6 directions. Even if your body collapsed, your origin soul couldn't escape. This was a heaven-sealing formation, and after being surrounded, you could only fight. 6 giant tortoise shells appeared in all directions and charged at Wang Lin. However, after the 6 directions, that vague voice echoed once more. 5 elements. Infinite. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Although they somewhat overlapped with the 8 diagrams, they were completely different. The 5 elements were part of the world. If the 5 elements weren't present, the world would collapse. After the words echoed, 5 rays of light suddenly appeared and formed 5 giant palm prints. These 5 palm prints represented the 5 elements. The metal palm print had the power to split the heavens. The moment it appeared, it gave off an indomitable power. The wood palm print was filled with life. It continued to change between life and death, forming an indescribable life and death power. The water and fire palm prints were 2 extremes that contained 2 opposite peaks. The monstrous waves and endless flames formed 2 giant palm prints that charged at Wang Lin. The last was the earth palm print. It was just like the earth and was extremely heavy. The moment it appeared, it gathered all the power of earth among the stars and gave off an indestructible aura. The 7 stars, 6 directions, and 5 elements fused together. This power could destroy everything. Wang Lin's face was pale, but his eyes became brighter and brighter. He vaguely grasped the words of the Lord of the Sealed Realm. Divine retribution was a calamity but also a fortune. 9 is the limit. There are 9 palaces, 8 diagrams, 7 stars, 6 directions, 5 elements, so there are surely 4, 3, and 2. I don't know what 4 and 3 are, but 2 is definitely yin and yang. From 9 to 2, after going through some phases of change, they will change into 1. Could the 1 of this retribution be G? Wang Lin's heart was pounding, but he wasn't sure. However, he had to fight and resist to the end to see if this was his long-desired G. He was unwilling to give up. Right now the 7 stars suddenly closed in, and the expression of the High Elder of the demon sect changed. Although the sect master didn't say anything about the person facing the divine retribution, from the sect master's final words and the Jade, this person's relationship with the sect master couldn't be normal. His eyes lit up and he was about to step forth to help Wang Lin resist the 7-star calamity. Senior, you don't need to help. I'll resist this divine retribution myself. Wang Lin's voice echoed across the void. The demon sect's High Elder stopped for a moment and the 7 stars closed in. The 7 stars descended with monstrous killing intent and 7 rays of light fell on Wang Lin. There was a thunderous rumble and he was covered in blood. His origin soul was trembling and he was pushed back. He was deathly pale afterward, but he began to laugh. The moment the 7 stars entered his body, it connected to the 8 diagram and formed an even more destructive aura to collapse his body. However, under this power, Wang Lin faintly felt the aura of the G realm. Wang Lin was extremely familiar with the G realm. It once accompanied him for several hundred years. When he felt that sliver of G, how could he not feel happy and laugh? Although he was seriously injured at this moment and his body almost had collapsed, he still laughed. He opened his arms and allowed the tortoise shells formed by the 6 directions to smash into his body. Thunderous rumbles echoed once more. His body was a bloody mess, but the place hiding Li Qianmai was completely safe. The body of an ancient god, especially that of a 6-star ancient god, was strong to an indescribable degree. Even after suffering such blows, he was still rapidly recovering. The shells formed by the 6 directions entered Wang Lin's body and linked together with the 7 stars, 8 diagrams, and 9 palaces. Wang Lin's origin soul exploded. However, he locked it inside his body and didn't allow it to dissipate. Wang Lin's eyes became lax but then became firm. He waved his right hand and a large amount of pills appeared. He devoured them to recover, then the 5-element palm prints arrived. The moment the palm prints arrived, Wang Lin's eyes shined brightly. He was waiting for this moment. He struggled to step forward, then he opened his mouth to devour the fire palm print. Fire of the heavens, enter my body and mold my origin soul. Wang Lin roared as he devoured the fire palm print. The endless fire swept through his body and swept his collapsed origin soul. Wang Lin's origin soul unexpectedly reformed under this fire, and fire essence began to appear. It formed a vortex inside his origin soul, absorbing the power of the fire palm print. At the same time, the metal, wood, water, and earth palm prints landed on Wang Lin's body. They left 4 clear marks and began to collapse inside his body. Fire and thunder of the 8 diagram, reinforce my body. As Wang Lin roared, the 8 diagram that entered his body appeared. The fire and thunder diagrams broke free and began resisting the palm prints. After these 2 diagrams entered Wang Lin's body, he had hidden them. Now he had erupted them, and this caught the divine retribution off guard. With the ancient god recovery and the 2 diagrams, he was able to resist the collapse of the 5 elements. He didn't die after taking the 9 palaces, 8 diagrams, 7 stars, 6 directions, and 5 elements. Wang Lin wiped the blood from the corner of his lips and roared at the divine retribution vortex, "Is there any more?" For divines. Infinite, the vague voice filled with no emotion echoed across the world as if answering Wang Lin. As the voice echoed, the roars of beasts came from the vortex. An azure dragon slowly came out, and after that, a red vermilion bird let out a heaven-shaking cry. Killing intent spread out as a white tiger charged out roaring, and a black tortoise also stepped out. Divine Retribution's 4 spirit. So it was the 4 divines. Vermilion bird, return. Wang Lin's eyes shined and he smiled as he pointed at the vermilion bird. The vermilion bird trembled and let out a cry. It broke free from the other 3 and charged at Wang Lin. It closed in an instant and surrounded Wang Lin, letting out excited roars. At the same time, a vermilion bird shadow appeared around Wang Lin's ancient god body. As they resonated, the vermilion bird flew into Wang Lin and fire shot into the void. After absorbing the fire from the 8 diagram and 5 elements, along with the vermilion bird, the fire inside Wang Lin had reached an incredible peak. The vermilion bird inside him had already awakened 3 times, and with each awakening, his understanding of fire increased greatly. The 3 awakenings had caused his comprehension of fire to reach an unimaginable realm, and also gave birth to essences. All fire spells had to yield before him. He could ignite the fire of anyone who cultivated fire spells, and he could kill them with the wave of his hand. After the essence was born, Wang Lin's control over fire had reached a limit, but this limit was only to corporeal fire. Fire was divided into 2. One was corporeal fire, which encompassed many different types of fire. The other was ethereal fire, which was far more elusive. Unless one had reached the limit of corporeal fire, it was impossible to grasp the realm of ethereal fire. Anger was a type of ethereal fire. It has no physical form, but it could surpass all fire in the world. It was a kind of Tao, a spirit, and also a domain. If Wang Lin could awaken the vermilion bird a 4th time and reach the realm of ethereal fire, then even if someone hadn't cultivated any fire spells, Wang Lin could ignite their anger. He could then burn them to death with the fire of anger. The strongest fire in the world was the fire of anger. Everyone had it, and it was invisible. If you couldn't withstand it, then you would without a doubt die. At this moment, after absorbing all the different fires from the divine retribution, Wang Lin would reach his 4th awakening. He only needed a bit more to break through the realm of corporeal fire and enter the realm of ethereal fire. The vermilion bird around him cried and entered his body. It nourished his body and repaired his origin soul, so Wang Lin had enough strength to resist the arrival of the other 3 spirits. However, the divine retribution wasn't over, and it was becoming stronger and stronger. At this moment, the vague voice echoed once. It was cold and ruthless, devoid of emotions. 3 talents. Infinite. 3 talents, heaven, earth, human. These corresponded to the sun, moon, and stars. The heavens was the sun, the earth was the moon, and the human was the stars. As the sound diffused, the void changed and became chaotic. The heavens had the power of the sun and emitted endless law of origin. The origin of everything. This power spread endlessly. The earth has the power of the moon, and it contained the opposite of the law of origin. The law of the end appeared in the void. The human had the power of the stars and entered chaos, forming a law Wang Lin had never seen before. It didn't belong to the law of origin or law of the end. The three forces turned into three rays of light and shot at Wang Lin. The power inside was unimaginable and could destroy everything. Two rights. Infinite, the vague voice echoed once more. As the cold voice echoed, something else appeared in the void. Two rights was the power of yin and yang, life and death. It was also the power of karma. Everything in the world was included in it. Heaven and earth gave birth to the four divines, and the four divines turned into 9 palaces. They also resonated with 3 talents to create a heaven-shaking power. They formed a giant yin and yang diagram in the void. The yin and yang diagram formed with Wang Lin as the center. It rotated like crazy, and a thunderous roar echoed as it rapidly shrank toward Wang Lin. At the same time, the 3 talents' light closed in on Wang Lin. This was not a power Wang Lin could resist. The heaven light pierced the spot between Wang Lin's eyebrows. The earth light pierced Wang Lin's chest. The human light split into 4 and pierced his limbs. At this moment, the yin and yang diagram clamped down on Wang Lin and covered his entire body. Thunderous rumbles echoed. Wang Lin's 6-star ancient god body couldn't withstand this destructive power. His body was a bloody mess, but Li Qianmai wasn't injured at all. This divine retribution only targeted Wang Lin and ignored everyone else. 1 retribution. Infinite retribution, begin. When Wang Lin's body was about to collapse, the vague voice echoed once more. The void seemed to have been destroyed, and waves of light appeared out of nowhere. 9 palaces, 8 diagrams, 7 stars, 6 directions, 5 elements, 4 divines, 3 talents, 2 rights all appeared, and as they rotated around each other, an extreme heavenly force was born. This was Jade. Although Wang Lin was seriously injured, his Dao heart and domains were still there. Then a change suddenly occurred. In his body, the 9 palaces to 2 rights unexpectedly also appeared in his body like the divine retribution. Jade was also born inside his body. This video will end here.